TV. This is the Power Breakfast, a very important event taking place this Sunday, the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon 2017. We're going to give you more information about it, find out what it's all about, and also how you can get involved. I've got several guests in the studio who I'm going to let introduce themselves. We'll start from my very far left there. Give us your name and tell us about yourself.
I'm called Daniel Otieno Dongo. I'm a training captain from Skyline Aviation College.
All right, and you've been a participant?
Yeah, I am a participant.
Okay.
The beneficiary of the marathon.
Okay. All right, thanks for being here.
My name is Peter Getel. I'm the chairman of the local organizing committee for the marathon.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
And lastly?
Hello, Anita is my name. I'm the global ambassador for the Sing is Believing campaign, which is in the Nairobi Marathon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here, gentlemen. Peter, I'll start with you. Maybe you can tell us how long this marathon has been going on here in Nairobi. I understand it takes place in other places around the world.
Yes.
Maybe you can just give us a bit of history.
Thank you. Thank you. We had our first marathon event in Nairobi in the year 2003. So this is the 15th edition of the marathon. We have a number of marathons that we sponsor as Standard Chartered Bank across the different countries where we operate in the world. The Nairobi Marathon is special because Kenya is known as the home of marathoners. So we've been doing this event for 15 years now. As you mentioned, it's on the 26th of November, which is this Sunday. We've been looking forward to hosting about 25,000. That was our aim this year.
Wow.
We are closing in on the number, more maybe towards 20,000, but we hope that given that registration is still open until this Friday, we'll get more participants.
Okay. We'll get all those details about registration a little bit later. Now, Standard Chartered is a title sponsor. Who else is involved in making this marathon happen? Okay.
So we've got a number of sponsors and partners. One, the Nairobi City County and Athletics Kenya are key partners. Athletics Kenya are the ones who license the race, and the city actually gives us the city to run the race in, so they are a host. Then we've got AUA Industria, we've got Alpine Coolers, we've got Avenue Healthcare, we've got Sanlam, we've got Safaricom, we've got Subaru Kenya, we've got Garmin, Nakumat, Skechers. So all these sponsors come into the event and really give in kind, provide facilities, provide water, provide insurance, etc., to make the race possible.
Yeah.
So in as much as we are the title sponsors, we do rely a lot on our partners and our sponsors to make the event possible.
Right, and it's gathered quite a bit of corporate interest over
It has,
the years.
yes, it has. And maybe also interesting to note is the race also has a lot of volunteers. So the staff of the bank and a number of other interested parties, including some of the communities that we support, provide volunteers. We have about 700 volunteers during the day. So all the organization, all the manning of the stations is done by volunteers.
Okay, that's amazing work that you've been doing. This is the 15th year, you said.
This is the 15th year
taking place. I want to hear your experience as a participant. You said you participated in previous years, and you'll also be participating this year. So maybe you can share what the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon has been like for you.
On my side, I may say the Standard Chartered Marathon has been, to me, is a very good event. Not only just running, but restoring somebody's sight. As we know very well, without sight, it becomes so difficult for you to attain or to make it possible in life. Especially now that I was born blind in a village, and because of my blindness caused the family to separate. Everybody in the family looking at you and they say, hey, why were you born blind? But nobody's choice to be born blind. So having participated in a number of years in the marathon when I was still in Thika High School for the blind, it has given me a pleasure. At least looking at you and say, hey, I have a friend. I have somebody who can cater for my sight. Standard Marathon itself, it has given me an opportunity. Like today, I'm able to walk, I'm able to do my own things because of Standard Chartered. Somebody ran purposely for me to have sight. And I take it not easy, but I take it as an opportunity that is given to very poor people who thought who cannot make it in life, and today here we are as a captain.
Right. Very powerful story. Henry, I want to come to you because the Standard Chartered Marathon is under the Seeing is Believing initiative, and that's the whole purpose of the event. So maybe you can tell us about what Seeing is Believing actually is. Of course, you mentioned tackling avoidable blindness, but maybe you can tell us a bit more about that as an ambassador.
Okay, thank you. Seeing is Believing, it's a campaign which it's belong to all the marathons which we undertake in various countries. And Mr. Vitao said that since the marathon was initiated in Kenya 2003, more than 11,000 for the last 14 years have been able to benefit. Like you have heard the story from Mr. Odogo, he's one of the beneficiaries. And mostly it's for the young people, those who are under 15 years, who get free operation in 5 hospitals in the country, and it is for free. So you just have when the parent or the family identify that they have a child with like especially the cataract operation, they go to the hospital, and when they get there, if the family is not less fortunate, they get it for free. So with the sweat, with the energy and the resources people they do undertake in the Standard Chartered Marathon here in Nairobi, all the proceeds goes toward this worthy cause of the Seeing is Believing. And I want to assure Kenya that the money we raise through the marathon is doing a very wonderful job. You can imagine for the last 14 years, and over 11,000 people have been benefited directly or indirectly, and because there are those who go for operation, there are those who have benefits like the schools or the hospital. So it's not only the operation. So there are new hospitals which have been started in Kenya, institution for the visual impairment. They have been able to benefit still through this initiative. Yeah. And
how did you become involved with the marathon? How did you become an ambassador, and how did you sort of get involved in this?
I got involved in Nairobi Marathon since the year 2003, after the first marathon was done here in Kenya. And from there I've been going to many parts of the world, doing creating awareness of the avoidable blindness. And so as you know, Henwanyuke is a triple record in the marathon and the 5,000 and 10K. I was the right person to do it because I'm the aware of the shoe and I know where to pinch is. I lost my sight when I was after my Form 4, and it was so hard for my family to pay for the operation. And I was thinking on how I can be able to be part of the people who can support those who undergo the same challenges I went through when I lost my sight. And when they started this marathon, I felt this is why I should be in full swing. I have done more than 10,000 kilometers since 2003 in different countries, so that we can be able to create awareness about the avoidable blindness in the world. Yeah.
And your commitment to that is very admirable. Peter, I'm coming back to you. Why this cause in particular? Why was this so important for Standard Chartered to, undertake the Seeing is Believing initiative as part of this marathon?
Okay, I think the impact of avoidable blindness is quite severe. We realized it was not just a health issue, but it's also an economic issue. When someone cannot see, they are not able to have an education, they are not able to work, and they lose their independence. So when the initiative was started across the bank, the idea was how do you deal with an issue which is impacting today 39 million people, and if it's not addressed, it will impact over 80 million people in the next 5 years. So the view of taking the Seeing is Believing initiative was, once you provide that opportunity and reverse avoidable blindness, and it really opens up the person, their community, their family, and everyone benefits.
You talked about being a young man at the Thika School for the Blind, and perhaps there might be people watching who don't understand how widespread of a problem avoidable blindness actually is in Kenya. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Being at Thika High School for the Blind, it wasn't by my choice. It's because of the condition I was having, and we were attempted to go to a nearby schools within the area, but unfortunately we never had the facilities. Now, through a neighborhood church, Catholic church, the nurse on the pastoral duties, who came across and found me at my house in my grandmother's house, and they were asking, "What are you doing outside the hut and they're looking up in the skies?" He had no answer. So after persisting, is when they came now asking from the grandmother, "Why is the grandson outside staying in the sky?" He said, "My grandson is blind and I'm the one with him." Having now had issues with the family from the other side, with my daughter, I had no option but to take him as how he is. So, well and good enough, having gone through the education system up to Thika High School for the Blind, I knew that one day I will make it. That's why we say that a friend like Stanchat came in and said this can be avoided through a small headache problem. I had a headache and I was taken to Kikuyu Eye Hospital, and people were saying, how is the connection between the headache and the eye? Because sometimes we blame people, but unfortunately they are not aware. Now with them creating awareness, as Ambassador said, it is important, because a good number of us, especially have been brought up in Madara down here, have seen them in the same condition. You look at it and you say, where do we begin even to assist these people? But now having a marathon like the way we are going to have it on 26th, I think with awareness and also touching them, getting to them, it will be a better opportunity for them to be realizing they can also make it in life. Henry, you talked about some of the previous successes of the Nairobi Marathon and the number of people that you've been able to affect change with. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about that since 2003. Are there, what type of change successes exactly have you had? You mentioned surgeries. What else are we talking about here that is, tangible change for society?
Okay, the Nairobi Marathon, since it was started in the year 2003. In fact, the Nairobi Marathon is one of the major events in Africa, not only in Kenya. It's one of the biggest marathon in the whole of Africa. You can compare Nairobi Marathon with the Boston or New York or Berlin Marathon. So it's a big event. And the way the Nairobi Marathon was started, before it was to show the people that where it can happen in Kenya. Most of the athletes have been going outside, they have been shining outside there. And now with the Nairobi Marathon, they were able to run on their own soil. And it was also part of tourist attraction. And through this marathon, it started with a few people, and now it has grown to more than 20,000 people. So you can see now people come from all parts of the country.
And the world as well.
And the world as well. And like even before, you used to have the greatest race on earth. You used to have many people come from different parts of the world coming to see our beautiful country. So with the Nairobi Marathon, at least people do enjoy very, very much, because at least now the roads can be closed and they can run. Most of the time people are used with the heavy traffic, but now the roads are closed because of them running. So it is fun. There are those who come to run competitively. There are those who come to run for fun, and it is all fun. So with the Nairobi Marathon, it was the best idea to have it in our country. And when the people come to support this, to run for this marathon, from their sweat, from their energy, and from their resources, they are able out of it to make a very huge difference to our community. As Mr. Gitau said, is that through the marathon, you can imagine a child losing his sight at the whole of his life. But with this Nairobi Marathon, those who have been able to benefit, it's one way of poverty eradication, and we're able to take the children back to the school. So now the children are able to enjoy like any other person, and also the family are able now to work and to support the rest of the family.
Right.
So the marathon is to give hope.
Yeah, and you brought up the issue of poverty or education. So ultimately, when you're helping someone who is blind or contributing to the cause of avoidable blindness, you're also contributing to the economy, employment opportunities. You're giving them opportunities to be educated and so forth, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the marathon, we know we know there are people who benefit directly or indirectly, because even with the business, when people they see Kenya we have a great marathon like Nairobi Marathon, people want to come and invest in Kenya. So we are trying even to boost the economy of our country, and again to promote our country, and also with the families who are benefiting from this event. It is most of the people are not able to pay for the operation. But now with the Nairobi Marathon, they're able now to, the money which they can spend with the operation, now they can spend it with something else to support their families.
Yeah. And
that is why we are very happy with the marathon, that even with the stand chart, giving back to where they get the business, it's a great and a worthy cause.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Peter, what is the goal here? You've got more than 20,000. You said you're expecting 25,000 participants this year. So how much money are you looking to raise, or either this year and also going forward in the future?
So this year we are targeting 100 million shillings. We've just signed a new contract for the marathon for the next 5 years. So we would like to grow the event, in the next 5 years, and see how far we can go with it. If you look at the global, the bank's ambition is to raise over $100 million, across all the marathons we do. So we've got quite some work to do. I think one thing that, if you may allow me, one of the things that I wanted to point out is Henry's point on the impact that the surgeries or the reversing blindness has on the society is quite evident with Daniel. Daniel was telling us as we were coming in that he couldn't see. He then got sight in one eye through Kikuyu, through the marathon and the Kikuyu hospital. He then saved and got his other eye, surgically corrected, and now he's training to be a pilot.
Wow.
So if you look at that journey from where you can't see to a place where you can fly a plane, that's the impact we want to have in society. 80% of blindness in the world is avoidable. So if we can, as a bank, if we can focus our effort on this and create that change, and the economic impact that it has is tremendous.
Right. I like the fact that you brought up that he's training to be a pilot. That is absolutely incredible, Daniel, and I'm sure you're inspiring many young people watching to have hope for the future. What would you say to someone who, is hearing this conversation right now, maybe has the issues that you had several years ago when you were in Thika High School for the blind, but you did say that you still had hope at that point in time. What would you say to that person who has similar challenges as you did?
I personally had lost hope in life because I knew I could be nothing. But now, having my sight back, I knew that one day I'd be somewhere. Because having gone through all those issues, from the family to school and to where I am, it wasn't that easy. I always tell people, even from my village, I come from Madare, that this birth that you are seeing them is from a blind person who was brought up in this village. So never lose hope. Let us come together, let us run. In case we have chance, by that particular time comes on 26th of this November, we will still talk to them, tell them that if it is possible to avoid this blindness the way our chairman has said, if it is avoidable, let us try to avoid, so that at least you can go back to your normal course of career. Because some of us may wish to attain better career in life, but because of blindness it becomes a problem. It becomes like almost impossible. But always tell my people, even from my village, that always believe that our tomorrow is greater than today. Right. Don't look at your problems today, look about your tomorrow. How do you want to change? If you come to run, you are running particularly to change somebody's life, somebody's sight. At least I think this person, I'm running particularly that your tomorrow is going to be greater than today. Don't look at yourself as a blind. Don't look at yourself that I've now lost sight, I'm now hopeless. Have hope that if Dan was blind and today is a captain at Skylink Aviation College, what about me? You'll still make it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a very, very inspirational message. Also in terms of the burden that blindness puts on the family, and you've spoken about how that impacted your family as well. I think it's very important for people who are facing these challenges to have the support of the family and to be able to have people around them who can, assist them as is needed. So to those families watching who might have someone, who is blind in the family or, has those issues, what would you tell them to do in order to better support their family members?
On the side of the family, I know most people grow the pain, their mothers. Because normally when you are born blind or having some disabilities, they always push back to the mother. Like I remember very well, my father took about 11 good years without coming home because I was born blind.
Wow.
And he was not expecting that today I'll be where I am today. Is when I finished my 8 exams and I had 350 marks out of 500, and in the family of 9, perishing in poverty. And I'm here with 350 marks. He said, "Oh, now you are my son." You see, things are turning slowly by slowly. I always tell most families where I happen to have visited, and even my colleagues visiting them, to have hope. Being blind or being in that kind of a situation is not somebody's choice that I want to become blind. It's like an accident that happened anytime or to any family. Now that this condition has affected you, how will you come out of the condition? Could you consult the right people? People who have been in that kind of a condition that have made it. Because regardless of how difficult it could be, I always believe that any problem must be having a solution.
Yes.
Don't look at blindness and say that now my child or my son or my daughter will not make it in life. I've struggled with that blindness, lost hope, but I knew one day I'll be somewhere. Now that's why having good friends like Stanchat, being a customer and a member, always go back to the bank manager and ask her, "By the way, do you remember me? I was blind. That day I can sign. Get me a pen. I want to sign my check or this."
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, this is great."
That's amazing.
This is great.
Yeah. Henry, you've talked about this being a very amazing platform for our local athletes to be able to compete in. And there are some people who have the conception that this is just for, professional athletes are the ones who are supposed to run this marathon. But there are various categories within the Stanchat Nairobi Marathon. So just the average person, such as myself, who wants to participate in this, tell us how that's possible.
Okay, the best thing with the Nairobi Marathon is that we accommodate everyone. So it doesn't matter whether good you are elite or you are non-elite. So anybody is welcome because we have 42 kilometers. If you can make it in 42 kilometers, you just go for it. There is half marathon, there is wheelchair race, there is also 10 kilometer race, and also the fun run race which is 5 kilometers. And though we are focusing on the thing is believing, we are still fighting with the lifestyle diseases. So people, even if it doesn't matter how much you weigh, so just come and have fun on that day on 26th of November. And many people have benefited from the run, because after the run there are so many things happening. People can go and go for the checkup after the run. So it is not so the marathon has so many things happening. People come and exhibit what they have. So with the marathon, everything is happening in the best way. So people should come. They should not fear. They should all come and join this marathon, because it's a wonderful race. So you can go, you can walk, you can run. So you should not worry.
You don't have to be an elite athlete. I've participated, I think, in the family fun run, the 5K before. So I can attest to that. Peter, this is brothers from all across Kenya are coming here to participate in the Nairobi Marathon, and all around the world as well. It's raising Kenya's profile internationally, as Henry has talked about. And I understand the route is a little bit different this year. Maybe you can talk to us about that.
Yes, this year we've had to make some changes to the marathon start and finish. Previously we've been using the Nyayo National Stadium, but it's been undergoing quite some renovations. So we are going to be using the Nairobi Railway Club for the 42 and the 21 kilometers. That will be the start point. For the 10 kilometers and the family fun run, they'll start on Uhuru Highway, just very close to the Nairobi Railway Club. And then at the end of the race, we'll have the exhibition within the Nairobi Railway Club compound. So that's the major difference. The routes have changed slightly, but only very slightly to accommodate that change in start from Nyayo Stadium to the Nairobi Railway Club.
Right. And for those who are unable to participate in the marathon due to other obligations, or are not able to run, they can also contribute to the Seeing is Believing cause, correct?
They can, yes.
How is this?
They can, yes.
How can they do that?
You can do it two ways. One, you can still register for the marathon and pay the registration fee. It's now 2,500. So one can go online, www.nairobimarathon.com, and both register or contribute. I think the point that you asked about the different people we cater for, it's a very interesting fact. The current world marathon record holder, Dennis Kimeto, his first competitive race was the half marathon in 2011, I believe it was. So there is space for world champions, and then there is space for maybe some of us who are not world champions but still want to have fun. So the website is www.nairobimarathon.com.
Yeah, and I was on that website yesterday, and I was looking at some of the prize money involved for the winners. It's quite some good figures there. So you can check out the website as Peter just talked about. Daniel, what are you looking forward to this year in terms of the marathon, being having participated in the past and also being a beneficiary? What are you looking forward to on Sunday?
I personally will be participating. Be very close to the ambassador and the chairman here. Now that I'm a beneficiary, and having the fact that Seeing is Believing, people also wish to see who exactly is a beneficiary from this Standard Chartered Marathon. Yeah, many people could be saying maybe it could be salaries, maybe I channeling these funds towards just construction only or other duties from the bank, but I'm a true living testimony and a benefit from this marathon. Having told you my story, it wasn't that easy, but there I am, even in the cockpit carrying a number of people. I say, hey, if it was Standard Chartered Marathon, where could I be? I could be a very hopeless person in the village. So after participation, we also going to organize together. We also have eye screening, and also wish to encourage them also to come back now to the slums, because most of these problems are from the slums. Not so many of us from the slums, like in Mathare, Kiba, and other areas within Nairobi, are able to raise a coin for surgery, for an eye drop. So to me, first of all, I asked them, let's come and participate together. Let's come also hear from those who are benefiting like me. If it was not because of marathon, I will not be where I am today. It's because of them extending a helping hand, extending to see that my sight can be restored. And here I am.
Right. Henry, there's something very different about this marathon. You have, various marathons throughout the course of the year here in Kenya, but there's something different about this in terms of its reputation, in terms of how corporates are attracted to this marathon. In addition to the cause, the very noble cause that you're raising money for, what is so different about the Nairobi Marathon versus other marathons that we see around?
Okay, the best thing in the Nairobi Marathon is that many people from it doesn't matter which office you are working, because I have seen for the last 14 years I have seen ambassadors running this event. Not many events in Kenya such people can of high caliber can participate, because it's very safe and they do enjoy running in Kenya. So coming people like even the central bank governor, people like even the vice president has participated in this event. So it is a run which brings all people together, and again it is in the city of Nairobi, and where even the governor has been taking part. And I believe in this year the governor for Nairobi, Mike Sonko, will take part on Sunday. So it has its uniqueness. The Nairobi Marathon has its uniqueness, and again people coming from all over the world come in and participate. It's fun. People can be able to take when they are running, to take selfies on the way running. And again, it's a run which the other thing with its uniqueness, it's about it accommodates even people with disability. You can see we have the category for the wheelchair. And again, one is Mr. Chairman has forgot to mention, it's about the CEO run. So most of the CEOs in big companies, they all participate in a small run. They do participate and they contribute to what the thing is breathing. So it's fun. People come to cheer in a big way. So it is there is whereby you can see people on the way as you're running, cheering you up. So it's not like the other marathons or any other events in the country where they are like they are just in one place and all people who are coming to cheer.
It's just very, very competitive.
Yeah, it's very competitive. So and you can hear they have produced world champions. So it's not just a run; it is a run which is producing champions. And as I told you, it's in the same level like in Boston, New York, because like for the winners, they take back home a lot of money, which is supporting themselves.
Absolutely. Peter, maybe we can wind up by you just running through the details again of registration. Registration is still open. Tell us again how people can register, the cost of registration, the time the race starts, and just a few more details like that about Sunday.
All right. The registration is still open until 24th, which is Friday. You register online through the website www.nairobimarathon.com. The cost of registration per person is 2,500. When one registers on the website, one is given direction on how to collect their kit and their running guide, which is being collected at KICC. The races start at various times. We're encouraging everyone to be there by 6:30 in the morning. The runner's guide, which is both online and which someone gets on registration, also explains the road closures. We've made sure that the way we're closing the roads for the marathon still permits Kenyans who want to go to worship on Sunday, to go to church, etc. So it provides guidance on how people can get to the venue, where they can park for those who are driving, where the public transport will be as well. So www.nairobimarathon.com.
All right. Thank you all for being here, gentlemen. It's been a very enlightening conversation. And thank you for sharing your story, Daniel, Henry, as the ambassador, and Peter being in charge of putting this event together. I'm sure it's going to be very successful. The Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon 2017 taking place this Sunday. So go to the website, get yourself registered. Even if you aren't able to run on Sunday, you can still contribute to the Seeing is Believing initiative. Power Breakfast continues. Man Cave with Willis coming up in the next hour. So do